Hey guys, DragonEye13 here, and welcome to Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. Oh yes, it's finally happening. I'm very excited to be playing it. So it's currently about a week after the public release of the expansion, so about a week and a half after early access started. I waited this long to do it because I wanted to wait and see if the immediate crowds of people around like the story quest locations would start thinning out, so I could actually, see the NPCs and all that. Plus, I don't know, even though it's an MMO, I kind of like just exploring areas by myself, seeing things as they are, But that's just me being weird. Anyways, we have a lot of story to do, so why don't we just go ahead and get started. The next ship to sail. We're gonna get item level 515, which is worse than what I can buy with the tomestones. Okay. How it always seems to go, right? What was that for? Weapons. I might try that for glamour at least. Alright, Alphino is feeling the need to take stock. Kajona, do you have some time to talk? I would like to gather everyone in Dawn's Respite and together assess the situation in which we find ourselves. Okay. Let's do it. Let us take stock of the facts, shall we? The crisis at hand began with the sudden appearance of ominous towers in a multitude of locations throughout the world. We have since learned that said structures were brought into being by an organization known as the Thaliak. The Thaliak's stated purpose is to recreate the final days of eons past, an apocalyptic event that would result in the destruction of all we hold dear. We already have these towers. There's been the cause of untold suffering. A little late to say this, but I hope you've been caught up on the story until now. Countless innocents kidnapped and imprisoned, their faith perverted for primal summonings. And unless we find a way to deal with the corruptive aura surrounding the spires, we can't even get close enough to rescue anyone. Though shielded with the blessing of light, seem able to resist being tempered at least. But after what happened to Arnvald and Fordola, we need to be very, very careful about how we proceed. Yet, while these threats close to home are of paramount concern, we mustn't lose sight of the situation in Garlemald. As you know, the Thaliak are under the leadership of Fandaniel and one other delightful fellow, Zenas Ye Galvis, the Crown Prince of our dear friend. The Crown Prince and our dear friend. Crown Prince I can't read. To date, he's reclaimed his old body, murdered Emperor Vars, and plunged Garlemald into an even deeper pit of chaos. The capital has probably seen the worst of it. For a good while there, it saw the bloodiest fighting in the War of Succession. But that has since changed, and in troubling ways. Aye, during our reconnaissance, the air was not once rent by the barking of cannons or the cries of discord. 'Twas an eerie fog of silence which did blanket that ruined city. The inhabitants appeared to have been tempered, and with nary a word spoken did they labor to transform the palace into a soaring edifice born of nightmares. God. I'm trying my best to remember how all their voices go and imitate them, but I'm not an actor. I'm not a professional imitator. It's not easy. If they were indeed made thralls, it seems safe to assume that these events too were orchestrated by the Thaliak. An army of primals is awful enough, but in light of recent developments, I fear it is only a prelude to an even greater catastrophe. We need to devise a means to counter this threat, and quickly, before our allies are overwhelmed. We will find a way in Sharlayan, I'm sure of it. God, the fuck did you sound like, Raha? Master Fortunault's comments regarding the final days were curious, to say the least. The forum knows more than it's letting on. Sorry to interrupt. We've just received word from Mistress Kryl. She says that arrangements for your visit have been finalized. Good, otherwise I was just gonna fucking swim over there. You're to head to Limsa Lominsa and board the next ship bound for Sharlayan. And on arrival, present yourselves as Associates of the Students of Baldessian, come to assist with the Order's restoration. The arrangements may be settled, but what of your thoughts? They must race at the prospect of returning home after so long. I am eager to see it, of course. Of course. We should set off at once. Then I'll accompany you to the docks. You need at least one person there to wave and cry and wish you a safe journey. Oh, Tataru's not coming with? Damn. Also, I apologize for my mishmash of a glamour that I've got equipped right now. It's long story short. I consider canonically my character has one eye, so she always wears this eye patch. I really like the bard's outfit, the Shadowbringer bard outfit with like the little scarf and everything, but goddamn, they need pants, so that's why I equipped the pants. And then the 2B boots are just because, I don't know, I thought let me turn off the HUD. I thought like thigh-high boots looked kind of good with pants on. That was basically the whole idea behind it. Well, looks like the gang's all here. Sea travel can be tedious, but I don't mind it. It is a rare experience for most Ishgardians. I never thought the day would come when I would be sailing home again. It always seems so very far away. Yeah, dude, I mean, you know, in your perspective, you haven't been home in like, oh my god, like how long? Like, over 100 years, something like that? I forget how long Shadowbringers took. I shudder to think of what manner of truth awaiteth us beyond the indigo deep. Still more do I dread the prospect of discussions long overdue. Contrary to what you might think, this will be like going home for me as well. I may have learned how to survive in Limsa Lominsa, but it was in Sharlayan where I was taught, quite relentlessly I might add, the skills to properly live. Okay, Alphino. Though a part of me looks forward to returning home, I've not forgotten that my father stripped us of the privileges of our family name. I hope it doesn't cause trouble with the officials upon our arrival. What a grim reason to bring you to Sharlayan. Not much to be done about it, I suppose, but I would have liked to give you the grand tour under happier circumstances. What, are you saying what? Are you saying you'd want to take me on a date in Sharlayan, Aldous? Is that a thing? I tease. I might have lived in Master Motoya's cave for a good part of my life, but even for me the thought of returning to Sharlayan is quite exciting. I can hardly imagine how it is for the others who live there most of their lives there. Alright, Tataru, let's go. Everyone's here, which is good because I've already paid for your passage, and the fee is non-refundable. Oh god, yeah, pro tip for anybody who's not aware, do not fuck with Tataru and finances. The ship for Sharlayan should be pulling into port soon, so please follow me and have all your luggage close at hand. I mean, I don't really carry luggage, Tataru, but, you know, thought's appreciated. Hey, it's these two. It's from the Rogue and the Samurai job quests. I forget their names. Doesn't matter. It's neat seeing them, though.
They've almost finished loading our cargo. We should be ready to depart right on schedule. Or so I'm told.
Schedule. I'm sorry. I know that's a legit way to pronounce that in other countries, but... schedule.
Excellent. 'Tis nice to have a smooth beginning to one's journey, at the very least.
It's funny. Master Louis Soir came here on a ship very much like this one.
And we'll
now,
be leaving on one.
years later, the street urchin he befriended that day is bound for his mentor's homeland. With his mentor's grandchildren, no less.
Aye. 'Tis upon reflection that every twist of time's river and fate's whims are brought into sharp relief. Thou hast matured much in the intervening years. Wert thou not caught attempting to relieve Master Louis Soir of his purse scant moments after he made landfall upon this earth?
Oh, really? Now that's a tale I'd like to hear.
Will this be your first visit to Sharlayan, Sir Estinian? Sir Estinian?
Are we strangers newly met? Why this stiff formality?
I mean,
I
true, yeah.
merely meant it as a professional courtesy, since we are now colleagues in an official sense.
Oh Lord, Alphino.
I'd rather you dispense with the sirs, especially in private company.
Yes, Master
You are forced to
Estinian.
respond in kind, little Lord Alphino.
You've made your point, Estinian. Painfully well.
Hey, what? Hey, once Alphino hits his growth spurt, he's gonna be as tall as you, man. Can't be making that jab forever.
Are you all right, Tataru? You seem positively distraught.
Distraught? Me? Don't be silly. I think it's lovely that they get to see their homeland. It's just... we're trying to thwart the schemes of an army hellbent on destroying the world.
Well, I mean, yeah, but that... We've dealt with shit like that before.
And, once again, I have to stay behind and worry that this is the last time I'll get to see my friends.
Yeah. I'll bring them back safe and sound. I promise.
I'll hold you to that.
Ah, good. You're still here.
Ah, Hori.
Hori! Coulternay! What brings you all this way?
We're to assist the Maelstrom and the Kobolds with a lunar primal operation, so we thought we'd see you off before heading to the tower. Flamine and the others wish you all a safe journey, and promise that they'll look after things here until you return.
I can't remember, is this the first time we're actually hearing Hori's voice?
We will too, of course. Aye. We, your fellow Scions of the Seventh Dawn, will do our part to ensure the end of the world won't happen on our watch.
Because I know there was a small little...
sail! All aboard for Sharlayan!
a small little aside where we did a quest involving Hori and Coulternay, but I don't remember if that was voiced at all. I don't think it was.
It's time.
Time to
Then we
finally
must
begin
delay
the
no
expansion
longer.
proper.
We will contact you the moment we learn aught of value. Wish us luck.
Have a safe journey, and please, please, be careful.
What's the worst that could happen while trying to stop the end of the world? I mean, come on. Oh, dinner's ready.
And so you venture forth unto the unknown.
Oh, hi, Emmett. How are you doing?
A fate beyond the horizon that cannot be divined. A future undefined and in flux.
Don't tell me you're in my soul now.
Naught but the simplest words of wisdom will suffice. That which lives is destined to die. Love leads to loss. Every beginning has an end. Treasure every moment, every step of your descent.
Ever the optimist, that Emmett Silk. Nope. Meanwhile, in the Shisui no Sato?
In the depths where souls and stars rest, find your truth.
If you look to your right, we'll be passing by a dragon overhead. Alright. Old Sharlayan, here we come. Looking forward to this. Really, I'm really looking forward to Razan Han, because the music in their little like preview video was so freaking good. Not saying Old Sharlayan was bad, I'm just saying that's the one I'm looking forward to more. Also, I'm sorry if you hear a cat at some point. He's being a little restless. He just wants to hang out with me. Ah, damn it. Never a good sign.
Here. Feel. Think.
The day has barely dawned, my fellow earlier riser. Though we're hardly alone in that. Envious of those still sleeping soundly, no doubt.
Well, I was sleeping soundly until Crystal Mom started bugging me. Also, are we on the stage?
Called out to you, you say? I've heard nothing myself.
That's because she likes me better.
In any case, I dare say the sea air will do you good. Why not join the others on deck? Sharlayan should be coming into view at any moment.
This song is just so... It's so fucking creepy. I love it. God, when they use this song at the end of Heaven's Word right before Storm... Oh, hello. Are you the ghost of expansions past?
My voice yet reaches you. I am glad.
Wait, so are you actually Heidelin?
Feel. Think. do we meet face to face at last. My warrior of light, guided by the crystal.
I mean, here's the thing, though. You're not super trustworthy at this moment. Like, we've heard both sides of the story, like one side of the story at this point.
You have every right to say that. You have gained an understanding of what I truly am, what Eidolon has always been, a primal.
Oh, at least she admits it?
Zodiac was created to forestall the apocalypse which threatened the ancient world, and I was brought forth to bind him.
Yeah, hence why you're wearing the
Amarok
mask.
A return to that bygone era have rejoined a shard to the god I had sundered. The greater his strength grows, the swifter does mine own diminish. The power to draw your mind into the rift betwixt is no longer mine to wield.
Oh darn, what a shame.
Vexes me sorely. I dare not leave these words unsaid. Even bereft of my guidance, you and your companions have accepted the burden of this star's troubled past. A conjunction has begun to form, an intertwining of your time and mine.
The fuck you talking about?
Wheels shudder and turn. Conflict looms. Monumental. Which will decide the fate of this world and all life upon it. When you truly understand what is at stake, and your journey has prepared you to surmount the insurmountable, then shall I honor the promise made in another time, another age.
To old me?
Sharlayan's just over yonder.
I will not keep you further. Your traveler's heart must yearn to behold this unfamiliar land.
Yes, but I also want answers.
We shall meet again, and soon.
Weird to have a face to Eidolon now, I'll say that much, but alright. Nobody else saw that. Nobody else was nearby. Thancred, you're still alive. Nobody. Okay, fine.
Oh, what a fine morning. Oh, still a bit stiff though.
Well, I'm glad you slept well.
And a good morning to you too. Taking a look at the island already?
Then let's go. Let's go. Might still be room in the prow if we're lucky.
Yeah, no, about... I just talked... Guys, okay, I guess I'll say it later.
Ah, the sleepers have arisen.
Hey, don't lump me in with them. I was awake.
There she is. Good old Sharlayan.
Oh,
Ooh,
I see it.
The music's kicking in.
Home. Home at last. Well, maybe not in Father's eyes. But we'll manage on our own. If we must.
Yeah, fuck your dad.
You do know you're not alone in this, don't you?
Indeed. 'Tis as Sir Estinian saith. Forget not the comrades who boarded this ship at your side, I prithee.
Thank you, my friends. We are ever grateful for your steadfast support.
Upon arrival, we will be disembarking into the heart of Sharlayan proper.
The stadium?
There is no greater concentration of wisdom in all the world. I am confident that somewhere within that center of knowledge and learning, we will find the answers we seek.
I'm just a sucker for good music like this. I'm sorry. Title drop. There it is. With the moon just barely in the shot. Maybe not as immediately gripping an intro as Shadowbringers was, but not bad.
Sharlayan, the solitary island nation of the northern seas. Where under the watchful gaze of Thaliak, patron deity of scholars, academics hoard all manner of knowledge and secrets. Once, they deigned to accept foreign students into a distant colony maintained in the Dravanian hinterlands.
Yeah, and that fell apart.
How swiftly they abandoned it once the first Garlean boot set hostile foot on Alamegan soil. So averse to the prosecution of war, these men of wisdom, your would-be allies.
The Northern Empty. Interesting name for a place.
I thought they'd never let us off the ship. What's next then? Entry applications?
Cavity searches?
Hopefully they find no cause to deny us.
Hasn't Sharlayan all but severed relations with foreign powers? Those of us without direct ties, myself included, may be refused outright.
'Tis true that, as a nation, Sharlayan only forms trade agreements with a select few neutral countries. But from a practical standpoint, an island cannot afford to be overly strict with its borders. Especially not if that island's people are wholly devoted to the accumulation of knowledge.
I mean, yeah, they gotta fucking eat.
If one
Get
submits the
supplies.
proper paperwork, with satisfactory evidence of identity and intent, then foreigners may be granted entry.
May.
Yeah, I was about to say, that sounded like there was a huge underline there.
Quite. So let us be absolutely clear on these points before we proceed.
Right. So, you two, you're not Leveilleurs, but you're students of Baldessian. You, talk normal. The one with the eye patch, her name's going to be Carrie, and she's going to be our serving girl. You know, because students are allowed to have serving girls.
The immigration officer will ask for your affiliation and your purpose of visit. Considering Sharlayan's views on intervention, I strongly suggest we avoid any mention of the Scions.
We're the, the scholars of the Seven Sunlights.
Kral has laid the groundwork for us to act as associates of the students of Baldessian, and our ostensible reason for being here is to aid in their order's restoration.
Baldessian, not Baldessian. Okay.
Grahatir, it might expedite our progress should an actual student be seen at the head of our little group. Would you mind leading the way?
Of course. The immigration officers were this way, as I recall. Shall we?
Alright. Oh, just right there. Okay.
Greetings. We've just arrived and are eager to make our way into the city. Would you be so kind as to process our entry applications?
And, yeah, sorry to be this guy, but why the fuck you keeping books so close to the fucking waters? That seems like a really, really bad idea if you want those to last at all. Of course, I'm not a scholar. What do I know?
Certainly. I see by your mark you are an Archon.
I am. Grahart here of the Students of Baldessian at your service. I was assigned to an Eorzean survey team, but have returned to assist with the reformation of my order. My associates here will provide additional support.
Very good. I have paperwork detailing your group and its scheduled arrival for today.
Scheduled.
And it seems some few of your companions are also Archons. If you'll step forward, we can process those applications first.
Someday I'll get a neck tattoo that gets me into foreign countries. Yeah, we'll just skip over the rest of that.
See how it glows? That list is etherically linked with the citizen registry kept in the main repository.
Okay, but you guys aren't actually citizens anymore, so how's it gonna...
And amended your travel records accordingly. Welcome home. Now, who do we have here?
Yeah, the situation will be a little more interesting.
Alphino Leveilleur.
And Alizé Leveilleur.
Oh, sorry, weird. Those records aren't coming up. I wonder why.
Your applications have also been approved. Having said that, the streets are abuzz with talk of how House Leveilleur's lord disowned his young progeny.
Why, that just clips my hair.
And while such personal circumstances constitute no reason to deny you entry, I urge you to avoid exacerbating your present situation. Times are quite troubled enough already.
We shall keep that in mind.
These last two are not Sharlayan natives, but you will find their credentials are in order. An application was made in advance.
There are bodyguards.
Name and occupation?
Artisan champion. I mean, I'm sort of an artisan, that's true. I got all my crafters at 70, 70 plus, I forget. I think they're all like 71. I'm gonna say Gajona Orda, adventurer by trade.
An adventurer? Well, I suppose that is considered a valid calling in your native Eorzea, and it does indeed match the profile provided. You may enter.
Lady, I'm gonna... I will adventure all over your fucking face if you keep up that attitude.
Estinian Varlino, formerly of the Order of the Knights Dragoon in Ishgard.
Varlino? I think this is the first time we've ever heard his last name. He's always just been called Wormblood.
Formerly, at least. And what, pray tell, is your profession now?
Killing snooty Lalavels. That asks too many questions. Oh no. Oh no. Just say you're a bodyguard or something.
If you'll allow me...
Cryo, please. I'm scared of what answer he would give.
My associate associate is a mercenary, hired for his strength at arms. Surely you are aware of the dangers we often face on our forays into the wilderness.
Okay, that sounds like a legit
Mistress
answer.
Baldessian, if you insist on sponsoring his entry, then so be it. But while I appreciate that desperate times call for desperate measures, I find your choice of company concerning. Be advised that even a single misstep may have severe repercussions for your organization.
Yeah, well, your ears are big. Huh, got him.
I have every confidence in my chosen company, dear and trusted comrades that they are. But I thank you for your concern.
They don't pay me enough to care about this.
Croyle, it is good to see you.
Likewise. Long voyage notwithstanding, you all seem none the worse for wear.
Yeah, God, how long have you been back here? Like 2 major patches? Yeah, I think you left at the start of 5.4, if I'm remembering right. And so now we're only just seeing you again.
There is much to discuss, but this is hardly the place. Let's be on our way, shall we? Oh! Welcome, friends, to Sharlayan.
Yeah, I know. So far I felt very welcomed.
As your mercenary, I should hope my welcome includes a generous salary.
We'll send the
I
tab
had
to
say
Tataru.
Something, Sir Taciturn.
Like, Sydney, is it just that hard to say, oh, I'm a bodyguard? I don't know what he was going to... Oh, shit, suddenly it's snowing. Okay. Hey. I'm gonna skate over to you and have words. Hang on. Sonic Boom! Alright. Seems you've already been approved for entry. Just try not to cause any trouble while you're here. Uh-huh. And let me make an adjustment while I think of it. Okay. So that setting should make it so there's less people, less players on the screen at any given time. So that'll help with loading and crowded spots for quests. Here's where the hunts are going to take place. Sorry, we're in a new location. First thing I always do, just scout around, see what's what, attune to all the aetherites. Here we are. Yeah, you see how long it took for that effect to pop up? Because there's just so many characters in here, it's trying to load and process. So that's why I knocked down the character limit. The Baldessian Annex. Ooh. This is... Oh yeah, this is definitely Final Fantasy V. Yeah, I remember that song. Oh god, I loved 5. I never actually finished it because holy fuck, that game is hard. But like 5 has a really unforgiving final boss, but I freaking love that game. It's probably like the most slapstick entry in the series, and it was fantastic. Also has like one of the most complicated job systems, or the most like in-depth job system that a Final Fantasy game has had. Probably almost in the entire series, I think. I think 11's like job and sub-job gets kind of close, but I don't think anything ever got to the same level as 5. So here's the Studium. Script exchange, eh? This is where I'm gonna go for my crafting stuff. Very delayed effects there, as you can see. Searchers me. Oh, yeah, no, duh. Yeah, this is gonna be the quest locations for the, crafters and gatherers. Duh. Being very stupid. Not a lot of people over here. Oh, the Levaeur estate. Oh. Am I gonna be allowed in right away? Yeah, no reason not to, I guess. I see a lot of servants, but not a lot of, not servants here. Nice place, though, Alfie, gotta say. Like it. Oh my gosh, there's even a balcony. Hell yes. Alright, anyways, ow. Moving on. There we go, and that's every Aether Shard and Old Sharlayan. Which, most cities, if you attune to every shard, you get access to the airship terminal, but, I guess there's not an airship terminal here, which makes sense. God. I mean, considering how isolated Sharlayan is, why the fuck would they allow airships in and out, you know? Regular ships are enough. Alright. We are over there. Okay. What the fuck? Nice mammoth costumes. Losers. Alright, what's up, fellas? I am unaccustomed to fabricating lies on demand. Why should it matter how I earn my living? Fair, I guess. Here we are at last. The great city of Sharlayan. You may have noticed some similarities with the Crystarium, yes? In fact, oh, but we really should let Kryl have her say first. We can continue this conversation at another time. You know, I didn't think of that, but Graha's got a point. I didn't... So he influenced how the Crystarium looked based on Sharlayan architecture. I never thought of that. Interesting. That was about as awkward as expected. Still, we're here now, and that's all that matters. I'm fine. Honestly. Better to be waved through with a stern warning than be denied entry, after all. Even allowing the years I spent in the first past here in the blink of an eye, the city feels untouched by time. Allow me to extend unto thee my warmest welcome, Kijona. May the wisdom of my homeland aid us in our endeavors. Yeah, that's what we're hoping. You are doubtless eager to take in the sights. Not to worry, Kijona, the city is not like to vanish before we finish our discussion. Yeah, no, I already got all the aetherites, we're good. I'm glad I spotted your ship coming into port. The officers are born bureaucrats and sticklers for detail. In any case, you may relax and take a moment to get your land legs back. Yay. Should we pop this open, see what our horse chestnut bow would look like? Well, let's do it. Not comparison, I know it's worse. Get off. Try on. Ooh. That doesn't look bad. I mean, I'll keep my barren bow for now, but that doesn't look bad. Alright, Old Sharlayan, new to you. Kryl sweeps the scions with a speculative look. You came to an academy dressed like that? Really? I had thought to launch directly into an explanation of what I've learned and how we might proceed. But this is Kijona and Estinian's first time in Sharlayan. And for the rest of you, a homecoming that was long overdue. You must have places you wish to visit, and people you're dying to see. Therefore, I propose we postpone our agenda so that you all may have sufficient time to recover from your journey and get your bearings in the city. Yeah, destruction of the world, Kryl. Hello? Don't we have a timetable here? Once you've settled in, we can reconvene at the Baldessian Annex. How does that sound? 'Tis a fine suggestion. We may not be welcome at the Levailleur estate as such, but I should like to nose around the neighborhood all the same. I am equally untethered, as it were. There's no particular place that my kin can call home. Still, I would not pass up the opportunity to reacquaint myself with the city. Likewise, a quick tour of our old haunts might even yield some useful gossip. The annex was west of the Aetherite Plaza, wasn't it? I shall join you there anon. Yes, we'll see you there. I, too, have places I would be remiss in not visiting forthwith. By thy leave. You want to visit Moonbreeder's house? What of you, Estinian? My services as a guide are yours for the asking. That won't be necessary. Until we reconvene, I prefer to wander as the wind takes me. But I could... Oh... Well, Raha, would you like to join us then? You've been gone for quite a while, and this is the perfect way to refresh those dusty old memories of yours. Oh, of course, if you will have me. Come, Kajona. Sharlayan awaits. Swear to God, Estinian, if we have to track you down again, I'm gonna be angry. Oh dear, his enthusiasm is infectious, isn't it? After you, my friend. I am more than content to follow your lead. Garatia is now accompanying you. Keep him at your side in order to proceed with quest objectives. You can leave Garatia behind by entering a different area using the Ethernet, or by putting 2 musketeers. Oh god, really? It's like an escort quest. You can also speak with Garatia and select the option to part ways. If you wish to have Garatia accompany you again, return and speak with him at the original location. While Garatia is accompanying you, next try speaking with Kryl. Do not forget Mistress Kryl, our worthy guide. All set? Then let us be on our way. Our first stop, amusingly enough, will be the Last Stand. It's a cafe on the west side of the harbor. Kryl is also now accompanying you. Lead your 2 companions to the Last Stand and speak with Kryl at the designated location. While you are accompanying, you may encounter conversation points along the way, which offer additional topics of discussion. Oh, so this is kind of like Private Actions in Star Ocean. Vaguely, kind of. Very vaguely, kind of. Or at least Star Ocean 5 kind of had it like this, where like your party would separate and they would just kind of be at spots talking. Just the glowing area and speak with your quest companions to initiate these bonus conversations. Enjoy exploring your surroundings together. Hell yes. Come on, let's head to the cafe. It might not seem so at a glance, but the Last Stand is actually an important part of the city. I'm grateful to have Kryl's help in reacquainting myself with this place. It's almost as if I'm seeing it with all new eyes, as you are. Oh, hey. Speak of the devil right away. Discuss the storage. With all the unusual wares coming and going at all hours, I expect the assistance of an intrepid adventurer would be highly appreciated. I see no reason why you couldn't undertake any tasks which pique your interest. You have been cleared by the immigration officials, after all. I look forward to the day your name is celebrated in Sharlayan the same way it is in Eorzea. This place is called the Peristyle. and it is the first stop for cargo unloaded at the docks. You'll find the usual necessities for daily living and other imports vital to running an island nation, but also supplies that further Sharlayan's pursuit of knowledge, namely large quantities of books, specimens, and samples. Sorting these stacks certainly keeps the attendants busy. So it's like the Arcana skill that, Hey, they even sprint after me. How about that? The Arcana skill that, Lumsa. Discuss the giant statue. The path leading towards the sea is known as the Thaliak Stoa, so named for the statue of the scholar who stands at its end. As you know, the Sharlayan people prize the accumulation of wisdom above all else. Thus, when Thaliak was chosen as our patron deity, it was more a matter of pragmatism and belief, an alignment of principles, as it were. We may have honored him with a rather impressive sculpture, yes, but our faith is not so restricted as that of, say, the Ashgardians. Individual Sharlayans can, and do, worship the divinities of their choosing. What do you have to say about the giant statue? Now that is a sight one could hardly forget, the great statue of Thaliak. As a student of Baldessian, I was equally quartered on the Isles of Val, but I would gaze upon the scholar's wise features every time I returned by ship to the city. I mean, shit is really cool looking. I will give them that. Oh, also there's a door inside? Hold up. Keeping up, you two? Good. Oh, damn, can't go in. Fuck. Alright, fine. So that's our destination. Alright. So yeah, these conversation spots are not on the map. That kind of sucks. Just gotta keep an eye out for them. Alright. I don't see any others nearby, so let's just do this. Ah yes, the last stand. Now that is an inviting aroma. And here we are, the last stand. I may have mentioned this before, but although our research into nutrition and food preparation is quite extensive, the average Sharlayan tends to regard seasoning and flavor with a certain indifference. How can I put this? The food is, it's bland. As encapsulated by our infamous Archon loaf, the prevailing sentiment towards cuisine is dietary value first, and taste a distant second. There was one pupil at the studium, however, who could stomach the school's insipid meals no longer, so he quit his lessons and poured all his savings into building a proper eatery. And so the last stand came to be. It is, as the name implies, the sole dedicated outpost of fine dining in Sharlayan, the one and only bastion of the culinary arts in an isle of otherwise mediocre fare. I seem to recall that their burger being hailed as one of the most impressive items on the menu. Not that I ever had the pleasure of eating one myself. Because you were a typical Sharlayan when it came to cheap and convenient, Raha. But surely Tataru has since taught you how to appreciate a well-prepared dish. We should all stop in when time permits and sample the cafe's delights. Shall we press on? The stairs to the side of the cafe there will take us up to the Aetheryte Plaza. Alright. Keep up. 'Cause I ain't slowing down. Anything nearby? I don't see anything. Yeah, so we'll just go ahead. The Aetheryte looks different from how I remember it. An unusual shape, isn't it? I assure you, however, that it's perfectly functioning Aetheryte. Remember to attune yourself before we move on. Now, being the diligent tour guide that I am, I should make mention of the confluence. a research facility located on this very plaza. Its much vaunted discoveries are the reasons Sharlayan stands at the forefront of teleportation technology. In deciphering the underlying principles of Allagan Aetherites, it allowed us to understand and reconstruct what was essentially a lost art. And off we go to our next destination. Our path leads northeast to the Agora, Sharlayan's largest marketplace. Oh, hello. Think we need to learn about this first. Here we go. Alright. Ignore the Rothgar in front of you, just talk to me, man. Speaking of Aetherites, those teleportation fees do add up after a while, which is why I tended to rely on the far cheaper ferry services. I was pleasantly surprised when Mistress Tataru informed me that the Scions are reimbursed for transportation costs as part of our duties. Wait, I'm sorry, what? But I find old habits hard to break. That, and I'd rather not be bothered filling out the necessary paper. Okay, I was about to say, where's my compensation, but, oh yeah, no, fuck that, I ain't filling out paperwork for that shit. I'll just eat the 200 gil. That's the entrance to the confluence. I have no doubt their expertise will prove useful at some point, so I suggest you remember the way here. I mean, not that complicated of a path. Can we go in? I don't think I never entered here. Oh, so this is where they're like researching Aetherites. And where they're making the shards. Interesting. I mean, maybe not super interesting, sure, but, you know, I'm cool with, like, little tiny bits of lore like this. Anyways, where are we going? This way. Wait, is that a... Oh, no, that's just his cauldron. I was supposed to say, is that a really tiny spot? No, but there's a spot here. Oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Connection, stay with me. Connection. Uh-oh. Damn it. Alright, let's try this again. Cryo, get out of cryo, thank you. Do you mind if I browse the shelves for a moment? There might be some hidden gems I've yet to read. Only a moment? How optimistic. Feel free to browse all you like, but we won't wait around for you. Perhaps I'll return here later then. These little open-air bookstalls are so uniquely Sharlayan. I'd always thought them a common sight until I visited other nations. I mean, who doesn't love some good books, man? Okay, I guess maybe Eorzean's a little bit, but, okay. Anything worth cracking my coin purse today for, I wonder? Welcome to the Agora, where you can find wares made in Sharlayan, as well as a wide selection of imported goods. They also used to sell questionable prototypes from the various research institutes, but I think that practice has thankfully died out, for the most part. Otherwise, I can think of no better place to stock up for your next big adventure. Am I overselling it? On a more serious note, the next stop on our tour is one which has a particular relevance to our ultimate purpose here. We must head back to the Aetherite Plaza, follow the path north, then climb the stairs up to the imposing building at the very top. Oh, okay. I think isn't that the Studium up there? Right now, keep up, lads. Fame. These little decorative features are typical of Sharlayan architecture. Aside from the research wing, our headquarters on the Isle of Vaal were rather simple and rustic by comparison. This is the Nymphaeum, an area dedicated to the blessings of water. For Sharlayans, water represents more than a life-sustaining liquid. It is a reminder of the great flood which precipitated the birth of our nation, as well as the symbol of the knowledge which flows from Thaliak's divine ewer. This is the reason you see an abundance of fountains throughout the city, and a propensity for utilizing water as a decorative feature in our architecture. Okay, cool. Good to know. Sharlayans like water. Ah, what an invigorating breeze. A touch biting, perhaps, but pleasant nonetheless. This grand structure before you is the Rostra. The Rostra. The name refers to the original public platform erected here, upon which a forum of elected representatives would deliver orations and debate policy. Although the stage has since evolved into council chambers, the nature of the forum and the duties of its members remain largely unchanged. Am I boring you, Raha? You seem awfully distracted. My apologies. From here one could see the entire city spread out below. The vista put me in mind of my arrival in the First. Those who had gathered at the Crystal Tower asked me how they might go about building a new home. Naturally, my answers were all inspired by my knowledge of the finest settlement I could think of, the great city of Sharlayan. And, bit by bit, those few buildings grew into a town, a community, the Crystarium. I can almost see its echo. I see. Feel free to come up here whenever you wish. I don't think the councillors would object to you simply enjoying the view. Such memories should be treasured. For now, however, the tour must go on. Our spectacle of sightseeing concludes with the fittingly named Journey's End. Walk down the stairs to the east and continue straight ahead. I mean, I'll give Graha this. That is a good view. Oh shit. Sharlayan Astrologian. Nice. Alright. This neighborhood is home to the highest echelons of Sharlayan society. I never did feel comfortable enough to wander these streets on a whim. We've arrived at Journey's End. History tells us that this is where those who put ashore with Archon Nunkrepf? We'll go Nunkrepf. Archon Nunkrepf built their first homes. In the present day, it serves as the residential district for the most important officials and the oldest Sharlayan families. You'll see that one mansion is clearly larger than its neighbors. That estate belongs to our friends from House Levailleur. All things considered, we should probably keep our distance for the time being. And with that, we bring our little Sharlayan tour to a close. I hope it has proven to be an entertaining and enlightening experience. Now, shall we head directly to the Baldessian Annex? You remember the way, don't you, Raha? Let me think. We head down towards the harbor, cross the bridge to our right, then follow the path down the Aetherite Plaza? Correct! After you, Kajona. Okay, I have to at least peek inside the mansion to see if there's a talking circle in there. There's not. Okay. Worth a look, worth a look. The fucking mammoth costumes get me, man. It's... Oh, hey, there we go. We're asking about Journey's End. Right, we crossed this bridge here, as I recall. Stick to the path and be careful not to end up back in the Aetheryte Plaza. Cryo? Sharlayan is full of educational and research institutions, but there are still professors who prefer to establish their own private practices. Not that I ever attended the exclusive schools they run in these residences. Perhaps the twins could tell you more about them. Let's see. Just keeping an eye out for private actions. I'm just gonna call them that, you know? Private actions. That's what they remind me of. They remind me so much of friggin' what they kind of looked like in Star Ocean 5. Ah, there it is. Baldessian Annex. This is it, the Baldessian Annex. As the joyous look on Raha's face has undoubtedly informed you, this is the Baldessian Annex. Yeah, he mentioned it. If you continue up the hill, you'll arrive on the doorstep of Phenomenon. But I think we've explored enough for one day. We can take you there another time. Inside with you, then. Ah, man. Music is so nostalgic. I'm back, and I brought Kajona and Raha with me. Ah, you were right about the ship, then. Hello, Graha. It's nice to see you again. And it's a pleasure to finally meet you, Kajona. I've heard many a tale of your exploits. Ochika! Ochika Tsunjika. Tsunjika. Okay. Ochika Tsunjika. It has been an age. Allow me to introduce Ochika Tsunjika, Administration Officer for the students of Baldessian. He oversees the day-to-day business of the Annex. You may recall meeting his cousin, Ejika? Oh yes, Eureka. I've read the initial reports. Quite a shock to hear what's become of the Isle. Do take care if you have the opportunity to rejoin the expedition. Yeah, I unlocked it, never did it. Whoops. This place is like a second home for the students. The Isle of Val served as our main headquarters, of course, but we often had occasion to visit Sharlayan. Whether to make use of the city's research facilities, attend conferences, or procure supplies from distant shores. And the Annex here was built to provide lodgings for our members while we engaged in such activities. Ever since our former headquarters, along with the Isle itself, vanished, the Annex has served as our base of operations. And yet it feels so empty. With so many lost to us, our organization is the shell of its former self. The day will come when we will see the students rise again. But first, we must ensure that the Telophoroi fall. Through that door on the left there is the main hall, where we can discuss our options moving forward. That's a door on the left. Once everyone arrives, that is, you probably have time to rest before our discussions begin in earnest. That's a door on the right. I've had private quarters prepared for you in the Andrin, so please feel free to make yourself at home. Ah, the nap rooms. Perfect for an afternoon doze. God, it's like 6 in the morning. Oh, I didn't mean to give you the wrong impression. The chambers are quite well appointed. Far more so than some cheap roadside inn, you may be assured. Yeah, but are they haunted? Please tell me they're not. I don't want to deal with that again. 'Twas simply that we were often so busy with research or exhausted from journeys abroad that we would slip into the Andrin to steal a few winks. And thus they came to be known amongst the students as nap rooms, even if many such naps might last well into the following morning. Say the word and I'll be happy to show you to your chamber. Hopefully the others won't be too long in coming. I'll wait for you all in the main hall. I love this remix of this song. I have no idea what the original song is called. It's so good. Do you have papers pasted on the walls of your room? It was not unusual for occupants to pin up notes or documents and such, and then forget to take them when they went on their merry way. Sometimes it was quite deliberate, though. You might see complaints addressed to other members, or a thank you card for the engrossing literature someone left behind. Beloved traditions. Then I should know better than to dwell upon. If we are to create a future for the students of Baldessian, and so many others, we must look to the days ahead. Okay, so, can I just... go back, Jonah, ready for a nap? Yeah. Well, clean sheets and warm blankets away. Rest as long as you like. Yeah, let's check out the room. Oh, so it is just an inn room. Okay, cool. So, give me a minute here. I'm gonna do some stuff. Okay. So I mostly just like sold a bunch of my items to clear up a little more space in my inventory. It's not great, but it'll do. Alright, let's go. Into the main hall. Ooh. That's like Tactics Garuda, it looks like. Kind of. It's like a mix between like Tactics Garuda and 14 Garuda. It's kind of neat. I like it. It's the world map we've gotten accustomed to. No, I don't. That's supposed to be the Crystal Tower. Well, it might be. Ooh, I know that one. That's the, that was a thing from 1.0 that, as far as I'm aware, it's not in 2.0. It's in the new 14 anywhere, but it was like the grave of Zand, I think. Pretty sure this is the area. This looks like the area in Mordona where the Sons of St. Koinok is set up. The spike from the binding coils. I'm pretty sure that is just straight up art from a loading screen. Good King Bogomog. Yeah, it's all really neat. Feeling refreshed and alert? Our colleagues should be wandering in soon, so I suggest we stay here and wait for them to join us. Oh good, even this city managed to wander his way in here.
Pray forgive me. I was delayed.
'Twas longer than I anticipated that I be crying upon my pillow of Moonbreeder.
It's fine, Urianger. We're all here now.
Let's get down to business then, shall we? Come what may, we must prevent the Telophoroid's plans from coming to fruition. At present, I see two paths for gathering the information which may aid us in achieving that goal.
Mm-hmm.
The first involves an investigation into the change which has come over Sharlayan, not to mention the recent inscrutable behavior of the Forum.
Well, I mean, weren't they always kind of dicks?
As most of you know, the 99 members of the Forum are elected from the general populace. This alone guarantees a plethora of opinion with regards to foreign policy. The bibliotheques, for example, are a group of conservatives which would have Sharlayan focus on recording history, while remaining entirely uninvolved in the making of it. And at the other extreme, we have advocates for proactive diplomacy and direct intervention. My grandfather Galef was one such member, as was Archon Louisois.
Oh, poor Galef.
Yet despite our diverse factions and philosophies, the recent vote to deny Eorzea's request for assistance was unanimous. Even more concerning was the fact that many cited other, more pressing duties as justification for their recalcitrance.
Fortuno's refusal in Gridania had those same undertones. 'Twas as if, having stared unblinking into the face of impending doom, it simply turned away to pursue something more important. But what could that possibly be?
A mystery indeed, and one which I ask for your help to solve. Our future may depend on it.
I mean, my immediate thought would have turned to bribes or mind control, but alright.
As for our second potential path, it concerns a request made directly to the students of Baldessian. Our organization was founded primarily to study strange and unexplained phenomena the world over. Mysterious relics and ruins, arcane disturbances, and so forth. Compared to our more isolationist Sharlayan colleagues, we have strong connections overseas, namely with scholars and academics who share our passion for the unknown. The request in question comes from one such acquaintance, Nadana, an alchemist residing in distant Thavnair. Her missive describes the sudden appearance of a tower, and the subsequent summoning of what I can only assume is a lunar primal. In response to this threat, the Satrap of Radzat-Han, the individual who governs the city-state, has instructed the alchemists to find a means to deal with the spire.
Yeah, good luck with
the
that.
The artisans of that land are heirs to an ancient tradition, one rather unlike that of their Uldan counterparts. It is possible, nay, probable, that they have gleaned truths unattainable by Eorzea or her Far Eastern allies.
They do, in fact, appear to have a strategy in mind, though it will require further research. To that end, they have requested an introduction to a capable warrior shielded by the blessing of light.
Yeah, but Arnwald's not available. Me.
We
You mean
divide
me.
our forces to pursue both of Kral's lines of inquiry, and having you join the group heading to Thavnair would seem the obvious choice.
Well, considering they
But
specifically
the
requested
investigation
me.
of Sharlayan is of vital importance as well. Equal, I think, to the Thavnairian one, given that the fate of the world may hinge on the results of both.
Yes, it is quite the quandary.
Well, split the
Though
party,
it
I
is
guess.
a great imposition and an altogether too common one, our efforts would be more likely to succeed were you to lead the charge on both fronts.
At the same time?
You are indeed our champion. As to which task to tackle first, we will defer to your decision. Let us next decide how everyone else might best be assigned.
Are we going to do the split
As for
MSQ
myself,
path?
I shall continue what I've begun in Sharlayan. I should also like to steal the services of an Archon or two.
And thereby gain access to a greater range of reading material. I will help with that.
Allow me to offer my assistance. I have some small amount of experience in the field of research.
Alice and I would also like to help, if you would have us.
Anything to understand even a fraction of what our father and the Forum might
Okay,
be
I can understand that motivation. Otherwise, I would assume Alice would be, like, jumping at the chance to be on the front line of a tower. But, yeah, okay,
Of course,
this makes sense.
the more the merrier.
Right. The rest of us will make the journey to Thavnair. Thoughts? Objections?
I passed through Thavnair on my way to infiltrate the Empire, and though I'm not qualified to give a guided tour, I did gain a sense of where things lie.
Yeah, I have a feeling Estinian is one to really take in the sights.
I'll be happy to have you along then. So for this group, it will be you, me, and Urianger.
Give me a moment afterwards, and I'll supply you with all the details of Nadana's request. Consider this hall our rendezvous point once our respective tasks are complete. May our investigations prove fruitful.
Okay, so this is gonna be like the Solar from the Crystarian. I can dig it. Now, what do we get? Chest gear. Ah! Cryo teleported. Yep. We get to choose which way we go first. Sharlayan or Thabnair. Well, first, let me check out this new chest piece. See if it looks cool. Oh, it's the one I checked out in the freaking armor shop. Boo. Yeah, no, we're gonna keep on the AF gear. Decisions. Let's do more in Sharlayan first, I guess. Alice? I still don't understand how the vote could be unanimous. What could possibly convince them all to turn their backs on Eorzea? Alphino? If the Forum is intent on concealing its intentions, then a cursory investigation will avail us little, I suspect. We will need to dig deeper, and with the greatest of care. The process by which Forum members are elected is fair and equitable. Neither wealth nor social standing offers any advantages to a prospective candidate. But fairly elected or not, Master Matoya still found them all to be insufferable. She finds anybody insufferable. Have you met the woman? Our tour of the city was a pleasant distraction. I feel more than ready now to tackle the challenges of the day. Alright, hitting the books. Kryl is intent on uncovering the reason behind the Forum's inexplicable behavior. Let's go. An unsettling change has come over Sharlayan, but together we will divide the underlying cause for the Forum's callousness. As I mentioned before, however, questioning the councillors directly is a fruitless endeavor. They seem to have already come to a consensus as to what and how little they are willing to divulge. Which is why I began scouring Sharlayan's archive of historical records for any hint of a connection to the final days. Suffice it to say that progress has been slow. There are only so many dusty pages one can skim in a day, but now that I have this band of willing reinforcements, the search should proceed all the swifter. Let us reconvene outside Nomenon, shall we? Exit the annex to the right, and you'll find the archives on the western edge of the woods. Alright, you guys chill out until I'm ready to go to Thabnair, alright? I figured we'll do everything in one setting first, and then we'll go to the other setting. I feel like that makes sense, you know? Everyone inside? Man, that looks cool. So this is, that's shot from the trailer. Cool. My directions were easy enough to follow, I hope. Yeah, also the spot on the map. In any case, you stand now before the doors of Nomenon, Sharlayan's grandest collection of books and tomes. This building is actually only an entrance, and one of many at that, for the archives of Nomenon extend deep beneath the surface like the roots of a tree. The vast halls of the Great Kubal Library pale in comparison to Nomenon's endless maze of subterranean chambers. Hot damn, alright. Any citizen of Sharlayan is free to enter and peruse its shelves. Well, most of its shelves. Only Archons are afforded access to certain unrestricted vaults. I've dispatched Yastola and Raha to investigate those. Meanwhile, Alice and Alphino will help me continue my search through the stacks open to the general public. Your status presents more of a problem. As a non-citizen, you are only permitted to browse the first floor here at the entrance. Even so, there should be a number of books which touch upon Sharlayan history or foreign policy. Your task will be to find and study the relevant publications. I promise you, a working knowledge of those subjects will make it far easier to spot the sort of clues we're looking for. I have to learn about politics! Let us be about it, shall we? I told the others to meet us at the stone benches over there once they've found some promising tomes. Happy reading! I have to learn about government. Eeny, meeny, miny. Oh, hey, this book's bright. Let's just read that. The story of Sharlayan, sure. Long, long ago, on an island in the northern sea, there lived a Rogadan man by the name of Njonkreph. Young Krepf was a student of astrology, and he divined that a flood of terrifying proportions would soon sweep over the lands of Eorzea. So it was that he built a gigantic ship, assembled a crew, and set sail for that imperiled realm. The flood arrived as foretold, and to their horror, the strangely churning waters drove the people towards the ocean. It was there, however, that young Krepf's crew hauled them aboard his ark. But the danger had not passed. A towering wave approached, threatening to smash the vessel to pieces. With only moments to spare, young Krepf wove a mighty spell of teleportation and shifted the entire ship to safety atop of Abalathia's spine. Refugees from the surrounding regions huddled there alongside them, but it was not long before disputes over the dwindling supply of food led to violence and bloodshed. Saddened by the sight, young Krepf gathered to him his crew and his grateful passengers and abandoned the ark to those reddened peaks. They journeyed to the coast where they built a new ship, intent upon returning to the northern seas. They landed on the beach of an island and settled upon that very spot. The settlement prospered and grew, and in time it became the city of Sharlayan we live in to this day. Okay. Oh wow, there's a lot of books. Red covered book. Roads of Old, the Colony. Sure. Many years ago, on the banks of the Thaliak in the Dravanian hinterlands, a Sharlayan colony once thrived. This settlement was originally established as a mere outpost to study the ethereal sea in the year 1311 of the 6th Astral Era. Scholars dispatched to Eorzea found the facilities wanting, and their demands encouraged a gradual expansion in structures and services. As rumors spread of a growing community of academics, the area was further inundated with Eorzean students hoping to share in the renowned wisdom of the Sharlayans. 50 years later, the Forum passed a motion to recognize what had become a flourishing town as an official Sharlayan colony. Eorzean residents took to calling the colony itself Sharlayan, which led to no small amount of confusion when discussions turned to the subject of the motherland. In response, some Sharlayan inhabitants, if pressed for a name, would simply refer to it as Emporium. Following the Great Exodus, however, goblins and treasure hunters claimed for themselves a corner of the abandoned colony and gave it yet another name, Idleshire. Okay, interesting. The following chapter is going to introduce the most prominent features of Idleshire. This book does not appear to contain additional information on the Forum, or cover the history of Sharlayan motherland in greater detail. Alright. What's next? A blue book. The red book taught me nothing, the blue book should do better. An introduction to the heaven. I have a feeling this won't be very relevant, but fuck it. Have you ever gazed at the skies above and contemplated the mysteries contained therein? I speak not of shifting cloud patterns, but of the vastness beyond, of the sun and the twinkling tapestry of the night. Some think the dome above us to be a finite space. Yet amongst the leading thinkers of our age, one scholar's depiction of a boundless sea of stars has firmly taken root. Alas, this heavenly sea remains an unreachable, unknowable destination. There are a few indeed who can explain, in satisfactory detail, why our own star is believed to revolve around the sun. It was the technologists of Aleg who came closest to understanding the laws which govern that starry abyss. It was they who launched Dalamud and sought to expand beyond our earthbound existence. Having read of their ancient ambitions, I wonder, has your interest in this field of study waxed or waned? What if I were to tell you that the eternal constellations were arranged differently in the distant past, that their positions continue to shift almost imperceptibly, but measurably as we journey into the future? Would it shock you to learn that the stars drift further and further apart, and may indeed do so forever? Are you eager to learn more? This book is on the wrong subject. Search for works contain details on the forum, yeah, okay. But I mean, hey, they figured out the expansion of the universe. That shit's impressive. I gotta give it to them. Alright, well-worn manual. Forever 20 Summers. Again, this doesn't sound relevant, but okay. My beloved seekers of knowledge. Have you ever put learning before your health and neglected to feed and rest your body as you should? I too once engaged in such foolish practices, but one night, engrossed in philosophical study, I had an epiphany. For all the world's mysteries that drove us to reckless abandon, we have so very few years of life in which to achieve our goals. Thus do I share with you this mantra. I am forever 20 summers young. The number itself is unimportant. You could be 19 or 23 or 40. Whatever age you are when you discover this manual, let that be the age you aspire to remain. Through mindful, healthy living, will you extend the time available to spend upon your chosen research. Another day, another moon, another summer to grasp the greater truths you pursue. In the pages that follow, we will explore the secrets of maintaining one's physical condition from a biological, ethereological, and arcane viewpoint. Yep, book on the wrong subject. God damn it, they have motivational books in the frickin' Nomenon. Gotta remember that word, Nomenon. Okay, Time-Worn Tome. Stewards of Wisdom. This could be relevant. During the chaos of the Sixth Umbral Calamity, Archon Yonkrep, founder of Sharlayan, bore witness to the madness and savagery of men brought to the brink of despair. Upon raising a settlement on an island in the northern Empty, he instructed his people thus: renounce the ways of war and pursue enlightenment through knowledge and reason. The Sharlayans took to heart the words of their savior and thenceforth served as stewards of wisdom. Upon a foundation of accumulated learning, they built a homeland unlike any other, a nation born from strength of minds rather than strength of arms. With knowledge of economics came shrewd trading. With knowledge of agriculture came bountiful crops. Engineering brought wells and sewers, ending squabbles over water. Wealth of expertise could be bartered for wealth in coin, and the more their wisdom spread throughout the world, the more mankind as a whole would thrive. And so it was that no matter the trials and tribulations of the age, the citizens of Sharlayan would live by their founders' teachings. For the sake of a better tomorrow, for the sake of a brighter star, they would eschew the tools of war, and with knowledge deliver the world. Okay, finally, a relevant book. A singular relevant book. Okay, so I scoured the edges, there's nothing else, there must be something in the middle that I'm not seeing. Oh, hey, I think I overlooked this one. Leatherbound. Voice of a Growing City, okay. In the years which followed the founding of Sharlayan, civic policy and other matters of import were decided at the Ecclesia, a public forum at which every citizen was eligible to speak. As the city's population grew, however, this format became increasingly impractical. The larger number of participants gave rise to ever longer debates, resulting in significant delays of vital resolutions. Various measures were introduced in an attempt to curtail protracted discussions, but in the year 201 of the Sixth Astral Era, it was ultimately decreed that Sharlayan would transition to a new form of governance. The nation would now be led by a body of 99 members, citizens chosen from amongst their peers by means of a nationwide vote. Thus was the Forum as we know it today conceived and created. You've gained a fundamental understanding of Sharlayan history and the foundation of the Forum. And outside to the rendezvous point and await your commands. Alright guys, good news, I read the kiddie books about history and stuff. So you guys can tell me the relevant bits then, because I'm not allowed. Oh, Lord. Sorry, were you waiting long? It's okay, I'm still only 20 summers young. I want to make sure I'd borrowed at least a few promising volumes. Alphino and Kryos should be along shortly. I was delayed in a similar fashion. As far as I could see, no titles in the Archon stacks mention the final day specifically, so we have no choice but to start with the tangentially relevant tomes, if they are even that. At present, the plan is to skim through as quickly as we dare and share our discoveries as we make them. It would be nice to invite everyone to the estate. Plenty of comfortable places to read and a ready supply of hot tea. Oh, I was always quite fond of reading outside. But it's not about the little pleasures, is it? You miss your home. It's been difficult. After our arrival, we managed to speak with one of the family servants and ask how things were. It seems our dear father has instructed the staff that even if Alphino and I were to return to Sharlayan, we were not to be allowed across the threshold. A harsh measure indeed. I hope that our efforts to understand his position, and that of the Forum, will perhaps lead to a reconciliation. Ah, fuck him. I don't care. We'll mend this rift one day, I'm certain of it. And what of you, Graha? Have you been to visit your family? Or do they not live here in the city? Ah, well. My situation is also somewhat complicated. I was raised in Sharlayan, yes, but I was born rather further away. In the southern regions of Ilzabad, in fact. For generations, my people have dwelt in Corvus, the coastal region opposite the island of Thavnair. The Alligans founded a city in that fertile land, and by ship brought in the subjugated tribes of the Mikote to serve as laborers. Of course, the massive earthquakes of the Fourth Umbral Calamity brought an end to the Empire's reign. And when the Fifth Calamity froze the seas solid, many of the tribes still living in Corvus braved the journey back to Eorzea. My ancestors, however, chose to remain, that they might prevent the remnants of Allagan technology from being misused. Isn't Corvus under Garlean rule? For the past 50 years, yes. Some semblance of local culture remains, as is the case for most imperial provinces, but Garlemald remained the region locus amenis. Oh hey, we heard a lot about that in the Sage Quests. When I was a boy, a nearby town came under the jurisdiction of an illustrious imperial family, the nobles of House Darnus. Ooh. Yeesh. That's a name I don't like to hear. House Darnus demonstrated a singular interest in Allagan civilization, and so my tribe was forced to consider a plan of action. For some time already, voices have been raised in favor of abandoning our ancient customs. After all, the Allagan Eye no longer passed to our eldest children as reliably as it once had. Fear of discovery eventually tipped the scales, and the decision was made to bury our ties to the knowledge and traditions of Allag. As the last child born with the Allagan Eye, I was given over to the custody of friends and the students of Baldessian, who had me registered as a Sharlayan citizen. I never even considered. Forgive me, it was an unkind question. Even Thancred was taken in by Archon Louis-Sois, was he not? Stories of adopted wives and rescued orphans are more common among Sharlayans than you might think. Yet, regardless of our origins, we are all provided with an equal opportunity to learn, and with sufficient God, all these words I've never seen before. Perspicacity? And with sufficient perspicacity, we outsiders can even learn the vaunted title of Archon. 'Tis exactly why I have such love for this country, and why I wish to remain a nation of which its citizens can be proud. Hear, hear. Another good reason to get to the bottom of the Forum's stubbornness, aside from the trifling matter of our impending doom. Excuse us while we try to make some headway into these books, Kajona. More companies should be arriving any moment now. Yeah, after that backstory dump, Jesus Christ. What else do I know of Corvus? Precious little, I'm afraid. I've not returned since Master Galef first brought me here. I can tell you that Corvosi rebels still seek to slip the yoke of their imperial masters, though the fighting is far less fierce than it once was. Oh, and they have carpets. Flying carpets. The legends are quite extraordinary. There are others better suited to poring over old history books, so I thought I'd try my luck with more recent events. If I can find anything to better inform the Forum's baffling behavior. Alright. Let's see what Y'shtola and Kryl are able to find in here. Oh, and Alphino, yeah, he's searching too. He's trying his best, I'm sure. We've returned with our selections. Although I must say, the pickings were quite slim indeed. Mistress Cryle has already flicked through every history book devoted to disasters, and more than a few which barely made mention of them. As such, we will be looking into research papers on the Umbral calamities, as well as articles written by prominent forum members. Perhaps their knowledge of the final days comes from an unexpected source. Speaking of which, might I ask you a few questions related to the final days? Oh, Lord. I'm the only one here who didn't witness the events of Amaro firsthand. Or Amarat. I forget how it's pronounced. Was it ever said out loud? I think Amarat. Amarat firsthand, and I fear I may be overlooking critical details. Yeah, no, I was practically there, yeah. Feel free to ask away. My thanks. Now, where to begin? First things first. What kind of phenomena did the ancients encounter as the final days drew nigh? Destabilization of creation magics, primals. What kind of thing? You know, the really bad kinds. I'm gonna say destabilization of creation magics. Yes, the unfolding catastrophe wrought havoc on all manner of life. The chaos extended to the ancients themselves, causing their powers of creation to spiral out of control. Fear and despair manifested in terrible, tangible fashion. Meteors raining from the sky, fire erupting from the ground, indescribable abominations prowling the streets. That more or less aligns with my understanding. If only the odds of creation had survived until the present day, we might have had something substantial to analyze. To the best of our knowledge, however, those techniques were not preserved or passed on. Yashtula surmises that the closest known magic is that of the summoning rituals promulgated by the Asians. Promulgated? Come on! Do I need... So one thing about this game, they like to use such archaic language that it's like, I feel like I need a thesaurus or a dictionary around. Was there aught else of note which heralded the approach of the final days? Disaster all at once. Alphino, you can answer this one. Yeah, they said there was like some weird sound that was off-putting them, and that started causing their fear to make the creation go haywire. Ah, yes. The Armorotines spoke of it, didn't they? We never did hear the sound ourselves, of course, thrust as we were into the midst of the madness. But it seems that each and every one of the catastrophes was preceded by this ominous noise. Eventually it resounded all across the star, and not even Amarat was spared. So the ground was crying out, you say? To be considered the harbinger of doom, it must have been quite distinctive, and probably quite loud. I'll have to speak with one of the Nomenon's mammoths and ask for any books which make mention of such a sound. Last but not least, would you describe how the ancients sought to quell this unprecedented calamity? What definitive action did they take? Oh, Christ. They knocked out... No, they didn't do that. They summoned Zodiark. Yes. With Elidibus serving as his heart. So many of them gave themselves in sacrifice to bring him into being. We do not know exactly how his Zodiac brought salvation to the star, only that by his godlike will were the laws of nature set aright. Then, once the balance was redressed, the ancients offered up a further sacrifice to heal the ravages of the final days. Life sprouted anew, and it was these fledgling souls they intended to render unto Zodiac, a trade that would have allowed them to resurrect the shades of loved ones absorbed by the primal. Or might have, had Vana and her fellows not manifested their opposition in the form of Heidelin. Thank you, both of you, for the detailed review. I feel much more confident now in my understanding of events. With all that freshly in mind, it does make me wonder what the Telophoroi truly mean when they speak of bringing back the final days. We've seen what they're doing, We've seen what they're doing with those towers of theirs. Is forcing people to summon primals a kind of catalyst? Are they attempting to mirror the conditions caused by unstable creation magics? God damn it! Or are they simply using the final days as a figure of speech? A convenient metaphor for the scale of destruction they plan to unleash. But this is all just pointless conjecture at this stage. Let us return our attention to the forum, shall we? We should keep an eye out for your Stola, but 'tis time we began studying these research papers. What you got there, Cryle? It really is comforting to have all these dedicated assistants on hand. Right then, enough chatting, more reading. Many forum members are also researchers or professors. If they know aught of the final days, then that knowledge might surface in their writing. That is my hope, anyway. Are you guys still saying the same thing? Yep, same thing. Okay. Alright, Y'shtola, give us something interesting. We're so tired of sitting around reading. Give us some answers. I'm the last, am I? Well, my extended search of the Archon stacks produced one or two possibly useful books. But I wouldn't get your hopes up. If you recall, Urianger mentioned the source's reflections from the Garen oracles. For its potential to cause panic and confusion, that tome was deemed apocrypha and sealed away in the Great Kubal Library. It is even less likely that knowledge of the unsunded world, not to mention the horrors of the final days, would be left sitting on a shelf for any curious scholar to find. It stands to reason, then, that my colleagues, be they archons or counselors, should perforce be largely ignorant of the subject. Yet when you constructed Master Forsenal with knowledge of the Telophoroi and their machinations, he scoffed at the suggestion that they posed a threat. He seemed adamant that the Forum would know if the final days were truly upon us, which only supports the conclusion that whatever privileged wisdom is guiding the Forum's behavior is being kept secret from the rest of the nation. That or, let's go with the obvious answer of they're working with Asians. Like, just Fandaniel popping over and be like, hey, end of the world's happening, but I'll keep you guys safe, whatevs. Not that I mean to excuse myself from reading duty. Whether they contain mention of the final days or no, these books could yet hold something of value. You weren't thinking of leaving, were you? There's plenty of work for everyone. Oh god, I have to read? No, Y'shtola, why? I was only allowed in the kiddie section of the library. You labor for what feels like an age as Y'shtola's a research assistant. I'm all done with reading, please. Thank you for your help, but I think I can manage the rest without your assistance. If I were you, I'd steal a few quiet moments for myself. Yeah, Jesus. Oh, you're saying something different. I found naught of interest so far. I think Y'shtola might be right about not getting our hopes up. Okay, you're saying something different. Your efforts to gain Grahatia's attention go unnoticed. He appears to be lost in his reading. Oh, and you're done reading? Alright, Cryle. We're done reading. Oh dear, you look exhausted. What about your studies? Were you able to find any books on the subjects I mentioned? I mean, a little bit. not much relevant. Then the day was well spent. Should you wish to read them again, a Mehmet at the reference desk will point you in the right direction. For the moment, though, I suggest you take a well-deserved rest. We might be occupied with our research for quite some time. Cool. Well, I did find one paper focused on the world before the advent of the first Umbral Calamity, but it reads more like a work of fanciful fiction than an actual academic supposition. Okay. Alright, Alice. Let's go do... No. Let's go do something, Alice. A seat at the last stand. Alice appears in desperate need of a study break. Oh, bro, you and me both. Ready for a tea break, Kajona? I know I am. Honestly, my neck and shoulders are going to calcify if I don't stretch my legs and walk around for a bit. You know the last stand down in the harbor, don't you? Come and meet me near the outside tables, and I'll treat you to their coffee. It's quite good. Hell yes. Alright. Let's go. Alright. Are we gonna eat in the middle of the snow, Alice, in the middle of the night? Come on. As busy as ever, I see. How very Sharlayan that no other gourmet cafe has sprung up to compete for customers. Actually, this crowd gives me an idea. Before we place an order, why don't we ask a few questions and gauge the mood of the city? I'm interested to hear what the average citizen has to say about the Telophoroi. We might even learn something new. Worth a try, don't you think? Alice is now accompanying you. Hell yes. So I guess this is just their new thing now, is having the NPCs like walking with you. I like it. No private actions though. That sucks. But yeah, I like this style of hanging out with you. You on business, my dude? What's with the briefcase? Someone here at the cafe should be willing to speak with us. Let's ask around. What is it? Can a man not enjoy a moment of private respite? If you're looking to share a table, then I respectfully request that you look elsewhere. You misunderstand, sir. We were simply wondering if you knew of the Telophoroi. These enemies of peace have promised to end all we hold dear, and... Wait, you're that House Levailleur girl, aren't you? And this woman with you is obviously a foreigner. I'd heard you were disowned for helping outsiders indulge their barbaric whims, and here you are giving truth to the rumor. I'll ask you to leave me be. I'm not to say to the likes of you. Well, I must apologize. 'Twas foolish of me to expect an ounce of civility from one so enlightened. Come, Kajona. I have a feeling everybody at Sharlayan is just a dick. Like, that's... Oh, hey. I remember you. I thought your date left you. Yes, I don't believe I've had the pleasure. Pray excuse the interruption, but we were hoping you might share your thoughts on the Telophoroi and their unconscionable plans. My goodness, if it isn't the young Miss Levailleur! My apologies, but I work in the offices of the Forum, and if word reached Master Fauchenal that I was helping you... I see. We're sorry to have bothered you. Yeah, I'll say, ain't working. Well, the customers have been decidedly uncooperative. Maybe the staff would be more willing to answer our questions. I don't think they will. Our dickin'. Welcome, madam. What can I offer you today? Wait, is that Mistress Alize I see there? My word, how long has it been? Far too long. Meet Dickin, the owner of the Last Stand. I used to frequent his cafe on occasion, between the lessons at the studium. That seems like an age ago now. I remember hearing that you and Master Alphino had set sail for Eorzea, but then you never came back. Lately there's been gossip about your father disowning the pair of you. Everything all right at home? It's complicated. And I hadn't expected complete strangers to be so familiar with our situation quite so quickly. Everyone has an opinion, it seems. Well, it is House Levailleur. No matter how discreet Master Fauchenal may have been, news of your family's doings never stays secret for long. Things being what they are, what brings you back to the city now of all times? Oh, just the end of the world, you know. We have questions, and only Sharlayan has the answers. Tell me, Master Dickin, have you heard anything about an apocalypse called the Final Days? What, like the end of the world? Nothing like that, I'm afraid. And that's what you're here to find? Information on this apocalypse? Yes, whatever we can learn. Unfortunately, your patrons appear to be unwilling to speak with me. I wish there was more I could do to help. But maybe there is. You're a visitor to Sharlayan, aren't you? then few will know your face. We should be able to pass you off as a server with none the wiser. We just finished preparing a few orders. Strike up some friendly conversation while you're setting down the food, and you might just get the answers you're looking for. Not a bad idea. I hate to ask, but what do you think? That's the spirit. Pay attention now, and I'll explain where each of these dishes need to go. The tea set is for the chatty group sitting by the water's edge. The omelet is for one of our regulars, a Highlander by the name of Gisela. She's sitting at an outside table with a friend of hers. Behind them, you should see a Mikote gentleman. He ordered the oven-baked lobster. Got all that? If you're not sure, just ask and I'll explain again. Good luck. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Connection, please. Don't abandon me. No! Alright, let's try that again. Okay. Okay, you're the ones that want the tea set. Oh, my tea set! Lovely, thank you. The Talofa who? I'm sorry, I've never heard of them, or their final days. My friends and I are somewhat uninformed when it comes to current events. Now, if you wanted to hear about ritual arcane practices of the 6th Astral Era, common or esoteric, then I'd be happy to talk your ear off. Are you actually going to talk about that? I always like to order this when I'm discussing arcane theory with my peers. It's my favorite treat. No, you're not. Okay. Okay, Gisela, you ordered the omelet. Yeah, and the oven-baked lobsters for the Mikote behind you. Ah, finally. 2, 4, 6, 8. Let's dig in. No time to waste. What? The Talofaroi? Ah, yes. I remember seeing the name in the latest Gazette. That and some grand claim about the end of days. Same old senseless warmongering. When will those fools grow tired of spilling each other's blood? Best stay out of it, I say. The Forum made the right choice, and I fully support our decision to remain neutral. The West End really does make the best omelets in the world. The fluffiest egg. The tartest sauce I could eat every day for a year. Urbane banter with a smile. Here's your lobster, dude. At last, the oven-baked lobster is mine. You have no idea how long I've scrimped and saved and suffered to afford this heavenly dish. Hey yo, you ever heard of the apocalypse and the Talofaroi? The final days? It's the first I've heard of it. Although, that would explain why my friend has been rushed off his feet. Must be a busy time to be a gleaner. You don't know what a gleaner is? They're collectors of a sort. Travel the world procuring things that we haven't got here in Sharlayan. Priceless books, unusual live specimens, and so forth. So named for those folks who trail after the reapers in the fields, picking up every grain which was missed. Aye, by all accounts, gleaning is a most meticulous and demanding profession. If these Talofaroi make good on their audacious threats, then many uncatalogued rarities could be lost forever. Why else would the gleaners be buzzing about in such a frenzy? Watch the harbor, and you'll see what I mean. They're carting loads in from the docks all day. It's never been this hectic before. Not like this. Alright. He's not saying anything relevant, he's just talking about his lobster. Any trouble with the customers? Were you able to get anyone talking? Yeah, like nobody knows dick about the final days. Interesting. They seem unaware of the final days aside from whatever vague news the gazettes are printing. Even Dickon had nothing to offer, and he's the best source of gossip in the city. If the Forum doesn't have secret knowledge, then they've done an impressive job of ensuring no one whispers it in the wrong ear. In any case, thank you for playing the part so well. Here, that cup of coffee I promised. But let's enjoy our drinks somewhere else, shall we? Maybe behind the peristyle, away from the gossips and their wagging tongues. Yeah, I wouldn't want the disowned Levailleur girl be seen on a date, right? Oop. Hello there, diminutive gleaner. What's this about? The hunt for specimens. It's on the lookout for able-bodied adventurers. I'm an able-bodied adventurer. Do my eyes deceive me? Or are you Kajona Orda? Yeah, that's me. Who are you? Well, as I live and breathe, it is you! I knew I'd be the first to track you down. Who's the guild ship's top hunter now, eh? Wait, you have heard of guild ship hunts, yes? They're not so different from the hunts you're familiar with in Eorzea, as I understand it. I'd wager they're rather more challenging, but an adventurer of your caliber would never turn down a challenge, would you? No, you would not. Pray speak with Northoda at the Peristyle to register your interest at your early convenience. It's the hunts. I have never done a single hunt in this game. Yeah, at this point, just this way will probably be faster. Oh, hello. What do I need for you? So I don't even know. We're in desperate need of skilled help. Simple Handerland, level 80 or above. Okay. Hey, Northoda. Hi, I'm Northoda. Have you come to place a bounty on an unruly beast? I guess, maybe, I don't know. By the Sculler! You're Kajona? I was half convinced I'd set the others on an impossible task asking them to find you. The Gleaner's Guild ship has begun posting hunt bills, you see, in the hopes that capable individuals will take up arms to lighten our ever-increasing load. Unfortunately, capable individuals remain the sticking point. Few hailing from our fair polis are willing to take up arms, let alone able to stand against the more fearsome specimens. You, however, have the experience and the grit that we need. When I heard that you had arrived on our shores, it was music to my ears. You needn't work for free, of course. We've done our research, and the rewards we offer are as fine as any you'll find abroad. The currency we employ is a relic of times when Gleaner was a great deal less figurative, so you might find it somewhat eccentric, but it's as good as Gil here. Oh, speaking of eccentric, it should be noted that the majority of our clients are scholars. You probably won't have heard of half the creatures they send you after, but I find it's best not to worry about that overmuch. Slay beasts, collect samples, try not to think about the long-term effects of touching said samples, and get paid. Simple, no? That being said, I wouldn't dream of throwing you into the deep just yet. Let's have you start off with some junior marks so you can get your feet wet. I mean, yeah, sure, whatever, just give me the experience. Hooray, I can do hunts now. Yeah, get tokens, exchange them for stuff. Get level 83 for the next level. Cool. Hey, Alize, who are your friends? Yes, this should do nicely. Out of the wind and out of sight.
When our father disowned us, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It wasn't until much later that his words began to sink in, that I began to feel the weight of what it meant. Do you remember when the decision was made to come to Sharlayan? Grahas said that the Forum was determined to keep us in the dark, and that Father's venomous performance was part of that strategy, to keep us at arm's length. Perhaps it was. Father argued with Grandfather on many occasions, but never with such dismissive contempt.
Okay, fair.
And when he demanded what justifies the sacrifices we make in war, I honestly didn't know what to say. Neither did Alpha know, I know, but never for one moment did I believe we had made the wrong choice. So all I could do was fume silently. It was only afterwards.
I mean,
that I
how are you
realized
supposed to
childish
answer that,
I had
really?
been. How being stubborn and self-righteous must run in the family.
I mean, you
If I had
especially.
mustered a civil response, then things might have turned out differently.
Are we watching smuggling? What's...
They must be ferrying goods to Labyrinthos.
Ah, Labyrinthos. Finally gonna deal with that.
A vast complex beneath the island. Sharlayan is famous for archiving knowledge from around the world. Well, that knowledge is not preserved exclusively in dusty tomes and desiccated samples. Our living library, comprised of all manner of flora and fauna, is housed and studied within that underground facility.
Cool.
Still, that did seem to be an unusually large shipment. When I lived here, it was rare to even see such cargo transported by boat. Wait! Didn't you hear something in the last stand about the gleaners coming and going more than usual? Well, I think
I
they're
did,
the ones
yeah.
we saw manning those boats. And gleaners answer to the Forum. If the appearance of the Telophoroi prompted this sudden burst of activity, then Labyrinthos may hold a clue as to what the Forum is planning.
Ah, good idea. Okay. Connection's not failing me. Good. Alright. A labyrinthine descent. Alize is excited to share your revelations. We should tell the others what we've learned about the Gleaners. Go on ahead to Nomenon. I'll join you in a moment. Master Dickon will want his cups back. I never even drank mine! Alright, fine. Hey guys, I'm back. Is that coffee I smell? Did I miss the tea break? Oh yeah, you did. It was great. Where is Alize? I thought she was with you. My loyal assistant returns. There's a lexicon on the first floor I need you to... Ah, you found something, haven't you? Yep, fuck your books. We're doing something else. Welcome back, Ajono. Been for a walk and cleared your head, have you? Not exactly. We did some impromptu investigating and turned up information on the Gleaners. Yeah, they're taking a whole boatload of stuff to this place called Labyrinthos and it's underground. So anyways, we returned the coffee after I did my job as a waitress. It makes sense. The Gleaners take their requests directly from institutions and bureaucrats, but as you say, they ultimately answer to the Forum. A sudden and significant increase in Gleaner traffic and in cargo certainly gives the impression of an overarching plan being put into motion. Let us see what theory we can build from the facts. As Yustola observed earlier, Nomenon's archives appear to contain no information concerning the final days. Coupled with what Kajona and Alize learned at the last stand, we can be reasonably sure that most Sharlayans know nothing of that particular period of ancient history. Yet my father and his colleagues are not unfamiliar with the final days, but are also somehow certain that the destruction being perpetrated by the Telophoroi is wholly unlike these apocalyptic events. Moreover, the Forum claims to be so occupied by a duty of such pressing importance that they saw it fit to unanimously, I can't read today, deny Eorzea's request for aid. And now the Gleaners, official agents of the state, have been mobilized on an unprecedented scale. I do not think it a stretch to conclude that the Gleaners' recent activities are in service to the Forum's secretive ends. In which case, our next course of action seems obvious. We visit Labyrinthos and assess the situation for ourselves. And if we're lucky, the Gleaners will be far more receptive to our questions. Yeah, as long as I don't have to, keep reading. Jesus Christ. I understand not everyone is the studious type. Consider this a welcome change of pace, then. As for myself, there are a few more subjects I would like to research. I may join you later, but feel free to leave behind your borrowed books and be on your way. I'll see to it that each is returned to its proper place. That would be a great help. Thank you, Raha. Let's head down the stairs over there and I'll show you where the entrance is. Watch your step in Labyrinthos. It's rather more perilous than a simple storehouse, although that will likely make the experience all the more attractive to an adventurer like you. Hell yeah, we finally get some action. What up, Alice? Ready? Labyrinthos is not too far from here, but you may find the path a bit disorienting. I'll take the lead, so stay close. Follow Alice and try not to fall behind. Off we go then. Yeah, a brisk walk. Move faster, Alice. It's pleasant here amongst the trees. But we really should move along. Yes, we should. Okay. Now we run. Try to keep up. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Keep to the path, straight ahead. We cross this bridge. Up here. Gotcha. My phone chose a bad time to start ringing. The Rostra, not far now. Oh, here we are. Through this door and down the stairs. You did remember to attune to the shard back there, didn't you? It will make your life much easier if you need to come back in a hurry. Otherwise, we should keep moving. Alice already attuned to every shard in the city. You are fine. Oh, Chocobo Keep. Very prim and proper looking Chocobo Keep. Alright. Make sure that's registered. Alice? You didn't take a wrong turn into the Rostra there, did you? I doubt the Forum would take kindly to you barging into a private session. I've not been to Labyrinthos in the longest time. Even as a student, my visits were few and far between. How did the Forum learn of the final days, and exactly how much do they know? More to the point, what do they intend to do about it? Hopefully the answer to at least one of those questions lies below. Alright, I think we're ready to go into Labyrinthos. Next time. I think this is a good stopping point for today. See you guys later.